Yo guys, what's up? We're here doing the Ares breakdown. So we're gonna start at the top of the list just like usual. So first up, we're gonna have the strike, Curse of Agony. You inflict Doom damage. So that's 50 Doom damage. Of course it's gonna be augmented by the type of rarity you have, whether it's rare, epic, or heroic, and whatever level you have. But yeah, it inflicts the curse status Doom, and Doom does damage after a brief moment of time. They take a burst of damage. Um, Next up is Curse of Pain. Very similar to Curse of Agony. Your special will inflict Doom damage, so it will inflict the Doom curse, status curse on them. And that will do 60 Doom damage, and then multiply that by the rarity modifier. Okay, next up we're going to get into his Blade Rift stuff. Next thing is Slicing Shot. Your cast sends a Blade Rift hurtling ahead. Each hit does 20 damage. Ares has a bunch of boons that augment this to make it like suck you in, do more damage per hit. You just make the Blade Rift bigger. A lot of the duos also augment that as well, which we'll get to. Slicing flares for Beowulf, the aspect of Beowulf. So that's specific to this. That's the cast. Your cast sends a large Blade Rift hurtling for a brief period of time. So the Rift damage there does 30 damage per hit. Very similar to Slicing Shot. It's just you can only get this boon when you have the aspect of Beowulf. That is one of the Shields of Chaos's aspects. Blade Dash, so you're going to create rifts where you started your dash at, and those blade rifts will do 10 damage per hit. Ares has a lot of interesting stuff with his rifts, and you can get a lot of damage if you stay mobile and you use your cast to just kind of focus on enemies, and you dash on enemies, and you just create so many rifts. They're going to take a lot of damage for each tick. His aid, which is the next ability up, Ares aid, also you become a Blade Rift essentially, and you're invincible during this. I think this is one of the best calls in the game, honestly. Top 2, top 3. So you're able to move during it, and you're invulnerable. So you can buy some time, or just like kind of wait out one of the boss's different phases. If like with Hades, when he does the lasers, while he's doing the lasers, you can do this, so he can take damage while he's doing that, so you're not wasting any time to put damage on enemies. So I think this is definitely one of the best calls, mainly because you're invulnerable, and while you're invulnerable you are able to put down a good amount of damage. So I definitely would always recommend Ares aid. Next is the Curse of Vengeance. This is revenge damage after you take damage. Inflict doom on foes around you, so it's going to do 100 doom damage once you take damage. Revenge damage is pretty solid. I made a couple videos about revenge damage builds, so I definitely check that out. That's the Vengeance Knight. But yeah, revenge damage is actually pretty strong if you can proc it a lot. Urge to Kill. Your attack, special, and cast deal more damage. 10% is the base, so just a good way to add some extra damage to your build. This is like one of those boons, even if you're not running an Ares centered build, you can kind of pick this up, and it's not going to really disrupt you too much. Blood Frenzy, after using Death Defiance, deal more damage to that encounter, so you do 15% as the base. This is another one that's similar to the previous one, just another way to get some damage, but this only procs when you die, so it's useful, but it's not like a high priority boon like a lot of the other ones we talked about. Next up is Battle Rage. After slaying a foe, your next attack or special deals more damage. Yeah, so these are great for clearing rooms fast. You get 100% more damage each time you kill a foe. Yeah, so you're going to be able to proc that a good amount as long as you keep killing enemies quickly. You're going to get some good bonus damage. Black Metal is the next one. Your Blade Rift effects deal damage in a wide area, so your Rift area effects increase by 20%. And the following abilities that this affects: Slicing Flare, Ares Aid, Slicing Shot, and Blade Dash. So that's going to augment them all, make them a bit stronger. Next is Engulfing Vortex. Your Blade Rift lasts longer and pulls foes in. So your rift duration is 0.2 seconds is the base. So this is really good because it's going to allow your rifts to have some more or a longer lifespan, which you definitely want them to have because you can do a crap load of damage with Ares Rift if you use them correctly. Alright, we're almost getting to his legendary and the duos. Next one up is Dire Misfortune. Your Doom effects deal more damage when applied multiple times, so you can stack it up to 10 times. And this is going to allow you to get more damage from the Doom stats effect. I definitely think this is a priority when running an Ares Doom focused build. This is just going to give you more damage from your Doom status. And if you're running or if you're using a weapon that's like kind of just a lot of fast strikes in succession, like the Stygian Blade or the Spear, you're gonna be able to stack up Doom quite a lot. And Ares has some really good synergy with the Spear and just other weapons that have a lot of flurry-based attacks. Especially when you get this, because you'll be able to do a lot of damage with the bonus stacks. Next ability is Impending Doom. Your Doom effects deal more damage but take 0.5 seconds longer to activate. So your bonus damage from your Doom effects will be 60. So this is really good as well if you're running Doom as your main status effect, because he has a duo that shortens, so that will kind of like bypass it. So it will shorten the amount of time, it like makes it almost instant. We should be talking about that shortly. But we're gonna go back into talking about the Rift stuff with the next boon, Vicious Cycle. This is his legendary, and let me tell you the prerequisites for this. Black Metal and Engulfing Vortex, either of them. And the ability that is your blade rift effects deal more damage for each consecutive hit, so damage increase per hit +2. Now if you're running a rift build, this is you know, you're trying to get this legendary, because you know, +2 damage every hit, and those things are spinning, so they're gonna get a lot of hits. You're gonna be stacking a lot of damage on them if you're doing the blade rifts from your dash and your slicing shot, stashing on bosses and whatnot. It's gonna take a lot, so you definitely want to build to this. Again, the prerequisites are Black Metal and or Engulfing Vortex, so you need one of them for this to appear. Next up is Hunting Blades. This is the duo between Artemis and Ares. Your cast creates a faster blade rift that seeks the nearest foes. Seek duration 3.3 seconds. So this makes it so that your cast is a homing attack, which is really great. So you're not, so say if you kill the enemy like on the startup of your cast, it's gonna go and seek out another enemy, and hopefully you have some of the other boons that's gonna make the rift stay out longer as well. So I definitely recommend Artemis with Ares. They have good synergy, and this is definitely very good for Rift focus build. Next up, Vengeful Mood. Again, I did a revenge damage video, Vengeful Knight build, where I built around this duo. It's very strong. Your revenge effects sometimes occur without taking damage. Auto revenge rate 3 seconds. You need one of the following: Lightning Strike, Thunder Flourish, Electric Shock, Thunder Dash 0's8, and Thunder Flare from Zeus. And then you need this pretty much the same corresponding stuff from Ares, and then you just need something from Vengeance. For instance, Curse of Vengeance, Heaven's Vengeance, Holy Shield, Wave of Despair, and Frozen Touch. Those are the gods that offer revenge damage. Yeah, I would definitely recommend picking up all those along with this if you're running a Vengeful Mood build, or just check out the video and I kind of go in depth and you can see what to do from there. Next up, Curse of Longing. Your Doom effects continuously strike weak foes. This is Ares and Aphrodite, obviously. Successive hit damage plus 50%. You just need Curse of Agony or Pain from Ares, and then from Aphrodite, it's Passion Dash, Crush Shot, Heartbreak Strike, Heartbreak Flourish, or Passion Flare. They also have really great synergy. Makes the enemies take more damage, and they deal less damage as well. So the Doom is going to stack up on them, and they do a lot of damage. There's the Aphrodite boon that allows them, or that makes them take more damage. So that, on top of that, with Curse of Longing, anybody who's has weak on them is, you know, getting exploded at this point if you have the 3 boons. Curse of Nausea, this is Dionysus in Aries. Your hangover effects deal damage faster, hangover damage rate 0.5, 0.35. So pretty much like the gods that have curse statuses that are like damage over time, um, or just like a generally good status on them, like weak for Aphrodite. You know, Aries has really great synergy with anyone who has a base status off their basic attack or off their flourish. So Curse of Nausea is also pretty strong as well. Curse of Drowning, your flood shot becomes a pulse that damages foes around you. Pulses per cast 3. So I don't think this is super strong. I don't Aries and Poseidon synergy is okay. I don't generally like to run them together. I only do it unless if I need just 2 different curses, like Rupture from Poseidon and Doom from Ares to proc privilege status. But otherwise, I don't generally run them together. It's okay. It's not definitely one of the weaker of the duos for Ares, if not potentially the weakest. Freezing Vortex. Your cast inflicts chill, but is smaller and moves slower. So your blade size rift or blade rift size is 15% smaller. Again, you can get a boon that from Ares that makes it bigger, so they'll kind of counteract each other. Yeah, it makes it move slower and inflict chill. So this is kind of like good and bad. Now you have a cast that it can inflict chill and then the curse status to proc privilege status, which is really great, but it's going to be moving slower and whatnot. And that's not a huge issue if you're already inflicting chill on enemies, because they'll be moving slower as well. So it's still pretty strong. Definitely recommend getting it if you're running a build that focuses around the rifts. And last but not least is Merciful End. Your abilities that can deflect immediately activate Doom effects. Doom combo damage, 40 damage. So I think Ares and Athena have pretty good synergy, and this makes you able to do burst damage, you know, right off the bat when inflicting Doom. So I think that's really strong if you're trying to burst enemies out instead of playing the long game and letting the status kind of sit on them and then them taking the burst damage. So that's also a pretty strong duo for Ares. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of list my top 5 Ares boons. So I think Curse of Agony, you know, it's definitely one of the best status effects in the game. So Curse of Agony / Curse of Pain, because they both do the same thing, just for on your regular attack and your flourish. So 1 and 2. Ares Aid is also incredibly strong. So I would always recommend taking that if you need a call. So that's 3. I actually really like Vengeful Mood, but you have to build around that. So, you know, it's definitely something I rate highly, but I wouldn't put it in my top 5 because, again, you have to build around it to really get the most out of it. Next up, though, so for my number 4 would be Dire Misfortune. Your Doom effects deal more damage when applied multiple times, so this allows you to stack your Doom effects up to 10 times, which is, you know, really incredible for Doom focused builds. I think a lot of the Rift stuff is really good too, but you gotta build around it a lot, where the Doom stuff you can kind of just, you know, integrate into builds that aren't even focused around Ares and are like really simple to use. So that's why I'm going with Dire Misfortune. And for number 5, Urge to Kill, which is another simple to use boon. You can kind of just interject that into any build you want. Just give you some bonus damage and think it's really strong. You know, all 5 boons that I listed are pretty simple, and you don't have to build around for them to be incredibly effective. A lot of his duos are very effective, or even his rift stuff, again, but that requires you to focus them to really get the best amount of utility or damage out of them. So that's the reason why I listed those 5. Simple to use, and you can use them and kind of with any gods. They have good synergy, you know, just on their own without you having to build around the Doom or build around Ares Aid. Like I said, it's like top 2 calls for me. But yeah, guys, that's Ares. You know, he's a very high damage god. So if you're running Ari stuff, you're going to be doing a lot of damage. He does really well with the fast attacking weapons. So I definitely recommend like the spear with like the flurry jab, or the twin fist, or even the Stygian blade. Anything that just can do like a lot of fast attacks to stack do more, especially if you have dire misfortune. But honestly, he has great synergy with, pretty much all of the weapons. So he's definitely one of the strongest gods in my opinion. Definitely give his boons a read and try him out, and try out focusing different aspects of his boons and whatnot. And let me know what you guys think. And let me know if you enjoy the video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, check out the Twitch, which is linked below. I stream Hades almost every day, so you can see type of different runs I'm getting into, and what types of builds I'm working on. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.